Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm back with another review, but this time it's going to be a little different. This is a book review. The book is called Raunchy by T. Styles. It came out in like 2010, and I believe it's the Cartel Publications. Now, before I get into it, I need y'all to go ahead, hit that like button, and subscribe to my channel. Now, let's get to this book review. This is Raunchy Part 2. Control Freak Harmony, Chapter 13. Harmony was so angry because she knew Callie told Jace all of that BS. He was always talking about Maryland dudes this and Maryland dudes that. And when Jace heard she was pregnant by a Maryland dude, something told her that Callie made all of that up. So she went to look for Callie to curse him out, and he was outside talking to Paco and Crescent. Harmony said, "Callie, why did you tell Jace that I was pregnant with some dude out in Maryland?" And then she looked around and she saw that Paco and Crescent was looking at her with a murderous stare, but she didn't care. She paid them no mind. She just looked back like, yeah, I burned both of y'all, and so. Then she put her attention back to Callie. And he just said, wait a minute. Why are you talking to Jace? What did I tell you about talking to Jace? You don't know how to listen, Miss Burns. Then everybody started laughing at her and they started arguing. Then Callie said, you're going to be a whore just like your mother. And you need somebody to take care of your baby because you're not smart enough. Look all the F's you get in school. You barely making it. And after Callie was done insulting her, she was trying to walk away. And he said, you're not going nowhere. You're going to stay right here. When she tried to turn around again, he said,
bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw.
Sorry, y'all. I just had to do that. I thought that was so funny. Shout out to Lamar Moore. Go check his channel out. If you know, you know. But anyway, after she stood there, he leaned in and whispered in her ear and said, look, I know you've been talking to the cops. You're going to pay for this. See, ever since she made up that lie about the cops coming to her house to question her about Callie, they believe that she's been talking to the cops about when Callie kidnapped that little girl, Christina, but she didn't say anything to the police. It was just a lie to cover up how she knew about it in the first place. So she stood right there in the middle of the sidewalk and she had to pee really bad. So Harmony said, look, I gotta pee, Callie. Let me go pee. I gotta pee real bad. He was like, no, you can pee right there. She was like, are you serious? Pee right here. So he said, yeah, you gonna pee right there. Harmony got scared and she tried to pee behind the bush and he was like, no, you're gonna piss right here in front of us. He made that girl pee in front of everybody and piss was dripping all in her underwear and everything. It was just so disgusting. And she was having morning sickness. So this made her even more nauseous and she threw up. He made her stand in the middle of her own piss and throw up. She thought that he would have some sympathy for her or somebody would have some sympathy for her since they knew she was pregnant and he was doing her like this. All three men just started looking at her and laughing. And then they got back to their conversation. When someone tried to walk past her, she moved out the way a little bit so they could get past. As soon as she moved out the way, Callie came over there and slapped her in the face. He was like, I sat up there and told you don't move. I don't care who coming past. You better not move an inch.
Bitch, if I have to tell you to turn around one more time, I'll break your jaw.
Callie was doing Harmony real dirty. He said, I'm gonna treat you like the slut that you are. All of a sudden, Harmony heard this loud music and she saw Jace's Beamer pull up. And when he pulled up, he saw Harmony sitting in the piss and throw up. And he was like, yo, what's she doing out here? Like, why is she staying? What is she doing? What's going on? So Crescent started laughing and said, yo, this dude Callie is crazy. He made her pee on herself and stand in it. And he just really thought that was so funny. But Jace did not think any of this was funny at all. Harmony could not hear what he was saying, but he said something to all three of the men and they all stopped laughing. Then he told Harmony, get in the car. And she was like, but I'm all wet. And with the even tone, he said, Harmony, get in this car. Harmony got happy and she got her little pissy self in the car. She was in the back seat because Jace's bodyguard was driving and Jace was on the passenger seat. And Callie was like, man, you still worried about her? And Jace said something else to him and Callie shut up. When Jace saved her, Harmony was happy and she felt like he really did care. So she tried to talk to him and Jace cut her off and said, look, what Callie did to you was messed up, but he only did that to you because you carry yourself like a slut and therefore you're going to get treated like one. No dude is ever going to make you his wife, and I'm glad I never made you my wife. There's no chance for us because you don't respect yourself and you did too much. There's no turning back from that. But if the baby is mine, then I'll take care of it. I will take care of my child. But you and I will never be together. Harmony was embarrassed, and the bodyguard just kept looking at her through the rearview mirror, so this was making it worse. She felt like he was judging her. So Jace dropped Harmony off at home, and their conversation just kept playing in her mind over and over again. And this scarred Harmony for a long time. Out for me. Chapter 14. The next day, Jace went to the doctor's with his bodyguard Kevin to make sure the syphilis was all out of his system. When it was time for him to be seen, he told Kevin he wants to go inside the doctor's office alone. Like, I want to go in there alone. Just wait for me out here. When the doctor came in, Jace looked at him and he felt like something was off. The doctor was a black man. He was thin. He had on a gold chain with a cross on it, and he had on a gold pinky ring. And Jace looked at his hands. His hands looked soft and manicured. Jace thought that the man didn't look like any doctor he'd seen before. Something was off about him, but he just could not put his finger on it. And the doctor was looking around the room like he'd never even been there before, trying to find some gloves. After he found the gloves, he told Jace, yeah, drop your drawers. And Jace was thinking like, drop my drawers? That's not a professional thing that a doctor would say to somebody. But Jace did it anyway. So the doctor held Jace's penis in his hand, looked at it, shifted it from left to right and said, it's a little small, isn't it? And Jace looked at him funny, like, what you mean? So the doctor said, no, it was just a little joke, son. I'm just joking with you. Then he grabbed Jace's penis and nuts so tightly that Jace could barely breathe. And the doctor started talking to him. He said, yeah, your father killed my daughter, right? That was my only child. And he started talking more mess to him. It was actually massive, pretending to be his doctor. Just before Jace was about to pass out, the nurse came in with the security guard and said, there he is, get him. Then they wrestled Massive off of Jace. He let go of Jace's nuts and Jace fell onto the ground, trying to catch his breath. And that's when his bodyguard Kevin ran into the room. And Kevin was like, I know that's not who I think it was. Jace was still on the floor, but he sat up and he was like, no, don't go after him. Don't do nothing to him. There's too many witnesses here. But now at least we know what he looks like. After that, Jace caught his breath. The real doctor came into the room. He said, son, I'm sorry this happened to you. Let me look at you. Let me make sure everything is okay. After the examination and the apologies, the bodyguard decided to stay in the room. From now on, he was never going to leave Jace's side, not even for a doctor's visit. The doctor informed Jace that everything was going to be okay and he no longer has syphilis. Nasty moves, Harmony. Chapter 15. Harmony had a plan. She was mad that Jace kept rejecting her. She was mad that Callie treated her the way he did, and she was mad that she was pregnant. Nothing was going right for Harmony, but in order for her to put her plan in motion, she needed to get up with two people. The first person is Old Man Grand, which is Callie's uncle. When she was younger, Grand used to have an ice cream truck that he would drive around in the hood, and later on she figured out that he was selling drugs out of that ice cream truck. When Grand got caught, he did 10 years in jail behind that. Also, Grand liked young girls. Harmony, Nut, and Cherry used to go to his house all the time to get free weed. But the catch was, in order for them to get it, they had to smoke it in front of him with their shirts off because he loved titties. But he would never penetrate any of them. He was still nasty anyway. But back to the story. And the second person is her shady ass auntie named Angel Phillips. In order for her to get away with everything she planned on doing, she needs to move with her auntie in Texas. When Harmony got home, Grandma Shirley said, you need to tell them bitches to stop calling my house. Harmony was ignoring the calls from Trip and Constance because she thought they were mad at her because she lied to Ebony about Trip stealing from her. But when she finally spoke to Trip, she said, look, I'm not mad at you anymore. I don't care about what's going on. You need to check on Constance. Please talk to her. She's trying to kill herself because Crescent left her for Ebony. So Harmony put everything to the side because she really valued Constance's friendship. And she said, look, I gotta go check on my girl Connie. When she got there, Constance was walking around looking really crazy. And Harmony noticed that she had slits on her wrist and she had a gun. This was her mother's gun that she usually kept in the house. And after Harmony saw the gun, she got up and Constance pointed the gun at Harmony. And she was talking real crazy to Harmony. Harmony thought that Constance was going to shoot her. She was like, look, I know I haven't been around, but you going to shoot me, Constance? So Constance looked at her and started laughing and said, no, I'm not going to shoot you. But why are you even here? You don't care about nobody but yourself. See, Harmony was relieved, but she still wanted her to put that gun down. Constance held the gun in her hand, just talking crazy and walking back and forth and kept going on about how Crescent left her for Ebony. And she called him And after he told her to go F herself, he won't answer her calls anymore. So Harmony said, no, look, I'm about to call him right now because Constance killed herself in front of Harmony. Harmony was in shock, but she got herself together and left. And she was afraid to tell the police because if Callie saw Harmony talking to the police, he's going to think it's about him and he will unalive her. Callie was just that crazy. Constance's blood was all over Harmony. She went home to change clothes. And when she got there, Shirley told her, look, these people are going to come here because you told them that I was molesting you. If that happens, you got to go. You got to get out my house because you're causing too much trouble over here. I need you to get out. So Harmony said, well, I'm out then. I'll be back later to get my stuff. Then she went in her room, took off her bloody clothing, got dressed up real sexy, and then she left to go seduce old man Grand. When she got there, she saw Callie, Jace, and Crescent all outside talking to each other. So she looked at all of them and just kept on with her mission. Nothing was going to stop her from putting her plan into motion. She knocked on the door and Grand let her inside. And he said, oh, you got on my favorite crop top today. You must want something. She was like, Grand, look, I need you to find the man in jail that kidnapped me and Jace. And Grand told her, look, it's real dangerous what you're asking for. Why do you want to raise the dead? That man tried to kill you. Just leave it alone. You're only 17 years old. This is a grown man's world. What are you doing? But Harmony looked at him and was like, well, can you help me out or not? After a few debates back and forth, Grand said, well, look, what you gonna do for me? So Harmony did the usual. She took off her shirt and exposed her breasts. So Grand said, not this time. I'm gonna need a little more from you. She said, you wanna suck on them or something? She was confused because the only thing that Grant ever wanted to do was see her titties. So he said, look, you ain't stupid. You know what I want. You know what this gonna cost you. Then him and Harmony had sex. After they finished, he was gonna find a man that kidnapped Harmony. His name was Arnold Recaro. Nasty Shirley, chapter 16. When Harmony got back home, she saw men coming out of her house counting money, and she didn't know what was going on. So when she got in there, all her stuff was in the living room, and Shirley moved all of her old raggedy things back into Harmony's room. Shirley was in the living room drunk. She told Harmony, if you don't have sex with me, I'm gonna tell the police you here. Look, they've been around here looking for you. And Harmony got scared because Shirley told her Trip seen Harmony leaving out of Constance's house after Constance was murdered. And although Harmony did not murder Constance, she was still scared because she believed that people was going to think she was a murderer. And she didn't want any dealings with the police. Harmony was so scared and she was confused. She really needed Shirley to keep her mouth shut. So she just started crying and telling Shirley what really happened. And she was like, well, Shirley, did you ever care about me? This was the most emotional Shirley had ever seen her. Shirley stood up. She looked at Harmony, pulled off her dirty panties and said, get over here, Harmony. Yo, that was so foul. When everything was done, Harmony was just traumatized. And she sat on the couch and started thinking about everything that she went through and how nothing is going right for her at the moment. In the middle of her thoughts, Callie came over. She didn't want to see him, but he invited himself in anyway. Then he kept asking her, what were you doing with my Uncle Grand? Were you talking about me and that little girl to my Uncle Grand? But she told him, no, we don't even talk about you. They got into an argument and she told Callie, look, this isn't your baby. Just leave me alone. When Callie heard this, he got mad. So he karate chopped her in the throat and said, look, I own you. You cannot hide from me. One day I'm going to put a scar on that pretty face of yours. And every time you look in the mirror, you're going to think of me. And he just stared at Harmony with an evil look on his face while she was gasping for air. When she finally was about to catch her breath, Callie turned around to leave out the door. But before he can open it, there was a knock. On the other side were two police officers named Robin and Menendez. They were looking for Grandma Shirley. When Grandma Shirley came out, the two officers told her that they have information about her son and the missing girl, Christina. The cops told her that Charles and the little girl was in the car crash, and they found their dead bodies in an embankment in Virginia. Now the case is closed. Shirley was in shock. She didn't care that Charles allegedly kidnapped the little girl. She didn't care what he did to that little girl. She only cared that her son died in the process of doing it. While they were talking, Harmony looked over and she saw Callie sitting on the couch smiling because he knew the truth. Then Harmony found out that the cops didn't come there looking for her the other day. Shirley tricked Harmony into eating her out. After this, Shirley left the room crying and Callie started laughing. Then he told Harmony, just like I got rid of your dog, and I got rid of that little girl Christina for Jace, and then I got rid of your uncle, I can get rid of your grandma too. Just say the word. So Harmony was like, no, just leave me alone. Leave us alone. Then he started laughing at Harmony and he walked out the door. Maybe mine. Chapter 17. Jace was at his house with everybody, and they were discussing the mansion that he rented out for his party the next day. When Rick called, Rick said, yo, my entire crew has been murdered. Massive set off a bomb and he killed everybody. All the bosses that you met are no longer here anymore except for Leo Lips. Leo Lips was crooked and he was in on it with Massive. Then he told Jace, look son, I'm about to lay low. I'm sorry I missed your birthday again, but I have a few meetings in LA and a high roller poker game. I really need you to be careful. I'm gonna talk to you soon. Hit or miss. Harmony. Chapter 18. At this time, Harmony had lost a lot of love for Jace. She was really mad at him because she knew Jace was over her. He didn't have any more feelings for her. She felt like once he told Callie that she knew about the kidnapping and the police came there looking for him, he didn't care about her anymore. He didn't care about her life anymore because everybody knew that Callie was a killer. And if he thought she was snitching on him, he would not hesitate to unalive her or make her life a living nightmare. So when Gran got back to Harmony with the information that she needed, she was determined to get in contact with the man who kidnapped her because he worked for Massive. And Harmony really needed to talk to Massive. She finally talked to Arnold, and Arnold said he couldn't give Harmony Massive's information, but he can relay a message. So Harmony told him about Jace's party, then she gave him the address to the mansion where everybody was going to be at. And Arnold was so happy to give this information to his boss. Then she called her aunt, and they agreed that Harmony could move to Texas and live with Angel and her 2 children for a little while. After this ended, Paco called Harmony and said he was sorry for treating her like that and he wanted to have sex with her. And although she was mad at Paco, she wanted to have sex with him and get some money before she left DC for good. So he met up with her at the Burger King, and when he walked in, Ebony was right beside him. And it just so happened that Harmony had on Ebony's princess earrings. So Paco and Ebony sat at the table where Harmony was at, and Ebony snatched the earrings out of Harmony's ear. Then she started threatening her and trying to get her to go outside. When Harmony looked out of the Burger King window, she saw 7 girls outside. They was ready to whoop her ass. She slept with their men and gave some of them syphilis. When she tried to get away from Ebony and Paco, they blocked her. Harmony looked around because she was scared and she saw security and she was like, hey, y'all help me. They trying to rob me. So the security guard came over there to see what was going on. That's when Ebony and Paco was like, yo, you lying. We're not trying to rob you. The Ebony said, if anything, you robbed me. Those are the earrings that my daddy gave me. You robbed me when you stole my earrings. Then Harmony looked at the security guard and said, no, she snatched the earrings out of my ear and he was trying to rob me. When the security guard saw that there was blood on Harmony's face and along her ear, he took her side. And then the other security guards started coming over and they grabbed Paco and Ebony. Then they took the earrings back from Ebony and gave them to Harmony. Ebony was so hurt because those were originally her earrings and she cherished them a lot because her father gave them to her. When the 7 girls that were outside saw the security guards, they all ran away. They were not sticking around for that. The security officer felt bad for her and he offered to take her home. And she didn't want to go home because Shirley was tripping. And she usually would go visit Nut and Cherry, but she stopped messing around with them when she heard Collie was supplying them crack. And they turned into crackheads. So she had the security guard drop her off at Grant's house. Grant opened the door for her and he was like, yo, what's up, Harmony? What's going on? So she got in there and they started having a conversation. And they started talking about Callie. Grant always told Harmony that Callie wasn't right in the head. He told Harmony, Callie came by here earlier and told me to stay away from you. I don't know what's going on, but you need to stay away from Callie. That boy is dangerous. Harmony was like, why is he so violent? What's going on with him? So Uncle Grant went on and told Harmony about some of Callie's upbringings. He said that Callie's mom and dad, Bernice and Rufus, used to be high all the time, but they usually made sure Callie ate at least 2 meals a day. When Rufus got clean, he left Callie and his mother Bernice. After Rufus left, things really went downhill for Callie. She used to stay high all the time and leave Callie with anybody. And when people got hip to her leaving him there for days at a time, they just stopped watching him. She started leaving Callie alone in her abandoned 1-bedroom apartment with 2 dogs. And she barely fed any of them. So Callie and the dogs used to fight over food, and that's why he had those bruises and bite marks all over him. One day she came home after being gone for a month, and both of her dogs were dead, but one of them was half eaten. Callie was so hungry, he ate the dog to survive. Then after this, Bernice disappeared. No one knows what happened to her, and Callie just started sleeping from pillow to post. When Harmony left from his house, she went home, and Shirley was on the phone with Harmony's teacher. So Shirley looked at Harmony and said, look, these damn people keep calling me. Let them know you're lying about what you said. So Harmony looked at her and rolled her eyes, and then she got on the phone. Harmony was like, hello? And her teacher said, hey, Harmony, what's going on? I heard you were moving with your auntie. Are you still going to go to school? She was like, yeah, I'm going to go to school. They got schools in Texas. But what happened to you sending people to come and talk to my grandma about what they were doing to me? She was saying all of this in front of Shirley. She did not care, and she had every right to. But the teacher said, no one came to your house because your uncle is dead, and they find it hard to believe that Shirley would do anything like that to you. We don't think she's that messed up in the head. So Harmony said, this is why kids don't tell the truth. Nobody believes them.
Message.
Then she hung up. And Shirley was like, you shouldn't have told nobody what goes on in my damn house anyway. I want you out by tonight. But Harmony convinced her to let her stay until tomorrow when she leaves to go to Texas. Then Shirley said, yeah, and tell your friends to stop calling here. So Harmony said, Shirley, who called here for me? And Shirley said, that Jace boy called here for you. Then Harmony said, well, what did he say? And Shirley said, I'm not your goddamn answering service. Call him back and see. Harmony got the phone, and she was about to call Jace. But Lola called and was saying that she really needed to talk to Shirley. She had something important to tell her. Somebody owed Shirley money. So Harmony said, look, Lola, this is really important. Can you please call Shirley back? And Lola said, no, I'm not calling her back. When Shirley heard the conversation, she said, give me my damn phone. I need to talk to her. And Harmony said no. So they started tussling and wrestling over the phone. Although Shirley was older, she was a big, strong woman. So she won the tussle. When Shirley turned around, Harmony kicked her in the back and Shirley fell to the floor on her face. I'm sorry, y'all. I could just really picture this big old mean grandma just falling on the floor. Anyway, so Harmony kicked her in the back and Shirley fell on her face. Then while Shirley was on the floor, she was like, bitch, you gonna regret putting your hands on me. And Harmony said, look, I ain't put my hands on you. Get it right, bitch. I put my foot on you. And Shirley was still talking shit from the floor. And she told Harmony, get your ass out tonight. So while Shirley was down there waddling around trying to get up like a turtle on his back, Harmony picked up the phone and called Jace. When he answered, Jace said, hey, look, I've been thinking a lot about us. If you really carrying my baby, then we can work on us. I'm going to have someone pick you up tonight so we can talk. Things were starting to look up for Harmony, and she was finally happy that they would be a family. Then her mind went back to the plan she had put in motion. She already gave Massive the drop on Jace, and she was thinking that she could just call Arnold and stop the hit. But Harmony was wrong. She was real naive. This book gets good. And who better to tell the story than me? Anyway, y'all, I'll be back soon.